articulation.
Pennsylvania, a new suburban community of 60,000 people midway between Philadelphia and Trenton, New Jersey. With its giant shopping center, winding lanes named for flowers and trees, it is fairly typical of communities all over America, where families are pursuing the American dream to give their children a better chance in life. Levittowners are people of modest means. Nearly all are young people. A large proportion are veterans. Levittown was built by one man for whom it is named.
So he was talking about William J. Levitt. So Levittown, that old footage of that town, they were building it. He's letting you know the person who built it. So he was a U.S. builder and developer, says here. He was born 1907, died 1994. As the pioneering president of Levitt and Sons Inc., dramatically altered the U.S. residential suburban landscape with single-family, mass-produced, 74 square feet homes. His dwelling both provided an affordable source of housing for returning World War II servicemen and served as the cookie-cutter prototype for the Levittown, a model village on Long Island, New York, that Levitt built on the site of a potato farm. All right, so the more important thing about this, what I wanted you to know is that Levitt was at the same time criticized for the mass-produced appearance of his units for refusing to sell to blacks. So understand, they were creating suburbs, right? They were welcoming all these white people, right? And remember, a lot of these white people are descendants of these indentured servants, right? So they were allowing them again to be successful, to have the American dream. Again, William Levitt, right? Was an American real estate developer. As president of Levitt Sons, he is widely credited as the father of modern American suburbia. He was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people of the 20th century. He's a Jewish, he's a Jewish family and British family. That could have been an indentured servant too. Alright? After World War II, right? So it says segregation. Levitt refused to integrate his developments. The Jewish Levitt barred Jews from Strathmore, his first Levittown development on Long Island, New York, and he refused to sell his homes to African Americans, so-called Africans. His sales contracts also forbade the resale of properties to blacks through restrictive covenants, although in 1957 a Jewish couple resold their house to the first black family to live in a Levitt home. Levitt's all-white policies also led to civil rights protests in Bowie, Maryland in 1963. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and the American Civil Liberties Union opposed Levitt's racist policies, and the Federal Housing Administration prepared to refuse mortgages on his next Levittown. Alright, so he was basically, this was not for people of color. They were building these suburbs purposely. That's how these white people got to the suburbs. They were building on purpose for the white people. They were creating an American dream for them, leaving you in the cities crowded up in the ghettos that they built for themselves. They were there because they were the indentured servants.
In August 1957, Levittown, Pennsylvania attracted international attention when violence erupted as William Myers, Jr. and his family moved into the 3-bedroom house at Daffodil and Deep Green Lanes. In almost all respects, the Myers family is close to the Levittown norm. They have 3 small children, the youngest only 1 month old. Myers served for 2.5 years in the Army and was discharged as a staff sergeant. He works as a laboratory technician and is studying for a degree as an electrical engineer. His wife, Daisy, is a college graduate. The Myers home is modestly furnished, and their late model family car was bought on time. They are very close to the Levittown norm, except in one respect. William Myers, Jr. and his family are Negroes in an all-white community. Levittown reacted in a number of ways to the new arrivals. There were several hundred who congregated on the street in front of the Myers house, and there were those among them who felt strongly enough to throw a rock through the picture window. But there was another large group who were repelled by this kind of behavior and organized to help Levittown accept its first Negro neighbors. The vast majority of Levittowners went peacefully about their daily activities. Some view the incident calmly and indicate acceptance of the fact. But for others, the Myers moving into Levittown constitutes an infringement of their own liberties. And under the impact of this situation, they react with anger and force. What they say reveals their deepest fears and frustrations.
Why did you select Levittown to live?
We were looking for a place to buy a home. We looked at Levittown, and we liked the homes here. We liked the advantages that Levittown seemed to offer in comparison to other cities. And we understood that it was going to be all white. We were very happy to buy a home here.
Do you think a Negro family moving here will affect the community as a whole?
Definitely.
In what way?
I think that, well, the property values will immediately go down if they are allowed to move in here in any numbers.
Can you give a basis for that judgment?
Yes, we used to live in Washington, D.C., and we saw a very good example of that there.
What other objections, aside from the effect on property values, do you have against the Myers?
The whole thing centers around the word integration. Well, as Mr. Myers said, because his home has been anything but peaceful since he moved in. He's got 3 children. And evidently, he feels that they will be accepted socially. And I don't feel that they ever will be. But the whole trouble with this integration business is that in the end, it probably will end up with mixing socially. And you will have, well, I think their aim is mixed marriages and becoming equal with the whites. But the only way they're going to do that is by education and by bettering themselves, not by pushing in the way they have here.
Do you intend to move?
At the time, no. It's a pretty impossible situation. We have our home here, and if the colored move in and run real estate values down, there are a lot of us, the GIs particularly, who are going to be more or less stuck with their homes.
What has been the effect of the Myers coming here?
Well, it's created a great deal of tension, not among the neighbors, because we all feel the same. But it's naturally made everyone tense in their home. I mean, this is affecting our homes. And it's bound to create tension. It's the subject that's talked about all the time.
But there are others who are for the Myers?
Yes, I've read about them.
For what reason, do you think, do they support the Myers?
Frankly, I don't know what reasons they can have for it. If they are homeowners in Levittown, I don't see what reasons they can have for it.
Do you think Myers will be able to live here comfortably?
Comfortably? No.
What course of action are you going to follow?
I'll do what I can to help, to get them out legally and peacefully. And as far as accepting them socially, if that's what you mean, I could never do that. And as far as accepting them socially, if that's what you mean, I could never do that.
And as far as accepting them socially, if that's what you mean, I could never do that.
Of course, we wanted our own house, and after, what was it, 2 years? Yeah, 2 years in furnished rooms. And if you could see some of the dumps we lived in, it was really, remember that attic room in Jamaica? Yuck.
Bill Levitt's special genius was figuring out how to mass produce the American dream.
We first came to see that property where they were going to build. It was potato farms, and it stretched like from here to eternity. You would see concrete foundations, nothing but concrete with the heat in. And then down the road there, we were in the midst of all the dust, was a frame job going on. And then down on the dust was where he'd completed, was the sheathing going. And then down the road a bit, and it was like putting your clothes on, from your socks on first, you know, and then putting your underwear on and the shirt, and finally way down on the other end
It was a finished
was a
product.
finished house. And yet you could see how it grew.
Designed for a family of 4, Levitt's basic Cape Cod sold for a minimum down payment at a price most people could afford. I think there's a great ad in there. Mr. Veteran, you're a lucky guy. You know, you can buy this house with $100 down. The first day that they were going to sell them, the lines were, I mean, people started lining up 72 hours before the houses went on sale, even Levitt.
Would you mind telling me who you are and where you're from? I'm David Poole from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And would you tell me why you're moving here to Levittown? Well, I'm working in this area now, and I've looked the houses over, and I think it's a fine place to raise a family, so I've decided to buy one. Very good, sir.
My house was a little Cape Cod cottage with a trellis over the door and one window on either side. And it was 4 rooms, nice kitchen, an eat-in kitchen, decent-sized living room, 2 small bedrooms, and a bathroom, and it had doors that I could close and open and close and open. Which we had always lived in furnished rooms. We had no privacy whatsoever, nothing. It was perfect for a young couple.
And we had a Bendix in the kitchen.
That's right, Bendix washing machine in the kitchen. First time I ever saw a washing machine, I think.
And we fell in love because that washing machine was underneath the stairs, you know. And before that, when we had the baby, you know, it was like 16, 17 diapers a day to wash, boil them on the stove. And needless to say, the family wanted to get rid of us too. They didn't need a baby that was crying in that, you know, with tight quarters, you know, and to have a house of your own. Man, that was the way we felt, you know.
After the Depression, all this come on, so it was kind of a gift from heaven, you know. You found these wonderful houses to move in.
The new middle-class families of Levittown had one other thing in common. They were all white.
I walked up to the salesperson and I said to him, "We're very interested in your house and we'd like an application."
And I remember what he said to me. He looked at me, he said, "It's not me, but the management has not as yet decided whether he's going to sell these houses to Negroes or not." And,
You can't believe it. You really thought you had it made. You know, everything is falling into place.
well, I'd like you to conceive that somebody telling you that, there's no recourse, telling you that openly and outright like that.
Bill Levitt saw himself as a home builder, not as a social engineer, and he refused to sell to blacks. There were court cases against him, and the fact is he was all too typical of what existed in real estate in America in those days, in believing that you did not have to and should not have to sell to people who were not white.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is William Levitt, who heads the largest home building firm in the world.
Bill Levitt would become one of the richest men in America by providing architectural, not racial, equality.
Unlike anything we ever encountered before.